How are we doing, guys? We're back again. Match day 11 before the whistle blows and our usual guests. But we will be joined by another very, very familiar face as well. Locks from Leicester City Fan TV. And we've got a more permanent guest list now. Obviously, Corey, our resident Leeds fan from down south. And of course, we've got our Welsh warrior, Locks, as well, who again disguises to be a Leicester fan. But we all know the Leeds anyway, guys. But guys, first thing.
Don't forget Hal. We've got Hal as well. I know he's not on tonight.
Well. Hal, who will be joining us from next week as well. Hal, who basically makes us all look like mugs from time to time, doesn't he? Yeah. Absolute legend of a man.
What did you make to? What did you lads make to Hal's? Little picture on the phone. You look proper professional.
Yeah, it showed us up, mate.
Yeah.
Well, that was like a school teacher's picture, wasn't it?
I know. Yeah, it was like, I didn't know with Hal because you know what he's like. I was like, is he taking the piss here or what?
I've never seen Hal without glasses.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly.
Doesn't look right. Doesn't look right at all. But yeah, how are we doing then, fellas? How are we doing, Corey? Been a week since we've had you on, mate. How's things?
Good, mate. Fifth in the Premier League. It's looking, looking rosy, mate. It's looking rosy. So, yeah, I'm buzzing. I think we've got a good chance against United tomorrow. I'm a bit sick and tired of hearing United fans saying we're going to get turned over. So we'll get to it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, first of all, fellas, let's start with our fantastic sponsors. Football Prizes have got two superb pieces available for you now. Let's start with the first one. Jackie Harrison on the left wing. Maradona. Check this one out, guys. 99 tickets available. £2.75. That's all it costs to enter. £2.75. Jack Harrison signed montage. The Champions shirt, the Champions montage. Just check it out, guys. Check it out. You know, why not? An absolute historic, momentous piece of merchandise there. Check it out, guys. Get on it. Anyway, guys. So that's Football Prizes. And, of course, we've also got 7 goals in his first 10 games. He said he wouldn't do it in the Premier League. He is doing it in the Premier League. Patrick Bamford signed and framed boots. The glorious, glorious Patrick Bamford signed boot. Joe Waitman, what would you do to get that?
To be honest, Oscar, I think I'd wear it round the house. I'd just wear it round the house, or wear it for our last in bedroom, maybe. I say I'll slip into me Patrick Bamford boot, love. It's going to be a good night. Just on that though, as well, mate. I know obviously some of the prizes actually finish at 7:30, so there's a new whole host of prizes just gone up as well for non-Leeds United fans. And just recently put up, there's a Steven Gerrard signed and framed Liverpool Istanbul shirt. So that's quite a piece of history if there is any Liverpool fans watching. There's a Roy Keane signed and framed Scum shirt. And for Oscar, there is an actual Lionel Messi signed and framed Barcelona shirt, my man. So
I'm on it.
Yeah, I know that tickles your fancy.
All the tickets will be gone in the next hour, so make sure you get in on it now because I'll be buying them all anyway. But yeah, absolutely top class. Make sure you check them out. Football Prizes. Check them out after this video, after you've smashed a like as well, and subscribe to the channel if you're new as well, guys. So let's get in on the first game. Our man Corey, 5th place at the minute, mate. 5th place if you very quickly let us know. And you're the favourite. Are you the favourites going into this game against Man United at the weekend, do you think? Would you genuinely say you're the favourites?
Yeah, like, I think the problem is with Manchester United, obviously they got that result against Southampton. They're a bit disappointed midweek against PSG, but United fans genuinely believe that if they'd taken their game in hand, they would be a certain level, they'd be top 4. For me, having sat down and looked at both teams, I think this is West Ham's best chance to get a result. Right, mate?
You're right. Sorry about the late.
No, don't worry about it, man.
I think it's perfect for West Ham. The game plan to sit back, to soak up the pressure, to hit them on the counter, to frustrate them as well. Like for me, it's actually an easier game than Aston Villa. I thought we were terrible against Villa. If I'm honest, we were just very clinical. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, you can't write Man United off. They've got Bruno in there. Cavani looks like a real buy as well, even despite being 33 years old. So it'll be tough. But I feel like we're favourites. I'm not sure why United fans seem to think that they're still favourites in this fixture, but yeah, is what it is.
I mean, we're joined by our Welsh wizard, Locks. How's things, mate? It's been a while since you've been on here. How's things going, mate? Obviously disappointing last couple of weeks for Leicester, but talk to me about West Ham Man United. How are you seeing that one going? Are West Ham competing for that top 4 with Leicester this season?
I don't think so, mate. To be fair, I don't think Leicester, over the past few weeks, I'm not trying to be fickle or anything like that, but I don't see Leicester challenging now for top 4. We're being exposed at the minute, to different areas in the team. So yeah, but yeah, West Ham and United. I mean, look, West Ham in 5th place. Corey, I'm sure you'd take that all day. At the start of the season, I don't know. They're playing. I mean, I said last time I was on actually about West Ham. I'm a real big fan of Jared Bowen and also Ben Rama, of course, and a few others. So there's a few of them in my dream team in my FPL. But yeah, I think. Manchester United, I mean, they just seem to be so inconsistent. I tweeted out earlier, the different. I mean, Man United without Bruno Fernandes, I don't know where they'd be, if I'm honest with you. They'd be sitting a lot lower than where they are now. So, Cavani looks like a good addition for their team. I wasn't too sure on it early on, but he scored a few goals now. So, I do see Man United winning. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one for West Ham, even though, like you look at the table, Man United 9th. That doesn't display their quality in the team. Of course, we've discussed this. What can Ole do? Is he going to get sacked? Is he not? But I just feel like they're going to have one of them days where they do turn up against West Ham, just to drop, knock West Ham down a few pegs, unfortunately for Corey.
What would you say to that, Joe? What are you kind of expecting from this? I mean, Man United have won every away game in the Premier League so far this season. It's been the home, even against PSG. It's been the home form that's been the problem for them. But I mean, do you see them continuing that run, or do you think West Ham are going to expose those weaknesses in that Man United team at the minute?
I fancy West Ham. I do. I think Ollie's due a run of poor results. He has this up and down sort of vibe. Obviously, they lose midweek. Are they due a loss in the Premier League as well? Probably. It's so inconsistent. Like Locke said, it's up and down, it's up and down. It was quite funny, actually. I was on 90minute.com the other day, and Flanders, the Man United fan, said he was talking about Ollie, and he spoke about how every so often, when these managers come out, the Ed Woodward will come out and speak about the plan and say, we've got a plan with this manager in the transfer window, and then they get sacked. And then he said it again, and then they get sacked. And then first thing this morning, Ed Woodward's come out and says, we've got a clear plan with Ollie in the next window. And I was like, it's the dreaded vote of confidence in a way. Do you know what I mean? That's what it felt like. I thought it was mad. Listen, I think it'll be quite high scoring this one as well, if I'm being totally honest. I was listening to something earlier, and 12 of the last 15 games of Man United have had over three goals. I think it'll be high scoring. I'm hopeful that West Ham can get a result. But know that if they do, Ollie's time is, for me, because obviously they've got the Manchester derby after. They've also got us to play soon. So if he was to lose this game, I fancy him to get beat by City, if I'm being totally honest. So it could be curtains for Ollie before even that Leeds United game comes around, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, look at midweek. I didn't watch the Champions League game, right? And I was in bed early, and I woke up in the morning and I had a text off one of my friends who's a Man United fan. And he said to me, Fred's going to get sent off. So obviously I didn't know at the time. So I checked and I went, you were right. And then all I've heard when listening to people and stuff is like, everyone could see that Fred was going to get sent off apart from Ollie. And I think that's poor management. It is. I know it sounds trivial, but if you look at Leeds United against Villa, when Pascal Strout got that early yellow, within 10, 15, whenever it was, he got took off. People say it was tactical, but it wasn't. It was. He could have easily had a second yellow and got sent off. It's just because I've heard some Leeds fans say it was tactical, but I don't agree with that. He was on a yellow. He was going to get a second. They took him off, and I think it was really naive of Ollie to not do so. But yeah, I fancy West Ham in this one, so I fancy Corey to continue with this, not Corey as such, but West Ham to continue with this good form. I do. I was hearing something earlier as well, and I just wanted to ask Corey. What about Olivier Giroud? Would you take Olivier Giroud if he came available in January?
I would. I do rate him as a player. Obviously, he was fantastic midweek as well. I'm not sure in the mould that he's in that he would suit this West Ham side. And the reason I say that is we've had a bit of a kind of a teething period with Sebastian Haller, trying to get him to kind of get used to the side. The quickness of the transition that Antonio is so good at, Haller can't do. But now he's starting to show a little bit of better hold-up play awareness around him. And I think Giroud prefers a team where he can get on the end of things, a team that creates behind him. West Ham won't press, and it is odd to watch West Ham at times because even against Aston Villa, we pressed right from the beginning to try and push Aston Villa back, which is a risky strategy, but we're doing it to create chances. And then gradually as the game goes on, we sit back. And I kind of look and sort of dovetail to the United game. If we sit back, we'll just frustrate United. And it actually suits us better as a counter-attacking side than it does as a side that needs to press. So I'd like Olivier Giroud. I think he's phenomenal. And he's showing a real element of class at Chelsea as well. Do you know what, mate? I would take him. West Ham are struggling. We need options. Antonio's out for a month. We need someone in. If he was available on a loan deal, of course, absolutely, of course.
Quick shout out there to Oliver Emmett. Absolutely top class, that man. Top class support. Thanks so much.
Is it not Emmett Oliver?
In fact, it is. Sorry, I've
no, but that's
channel. And I've misread his
name.
You
know what? No, you know what? You're right though, because Emmett does watch us a lot. If it is Emmett, so Emmett, let us know in the chat because it could easily be Oliver Emmett. You don't know.
Is it Oliver? Is it Emmett? I don't know.
Just off point. Someone come over from Leicester Fan TV as well, which is always good.
I think from the obviously from the midweek game, I saw the extended highlights. I mean, Neymar should probably be locked up for cruelty in terms of what he did to that Man United defence. I mean, Harry Maguire, it was difficult to watch, to be honest. I think that's even for it got to a point where it wasn't even funny, to be fair, what Neymar was doing to that team. But yeah, no, look, I think you look from that game, the fact he took Cavani off at 2-1 down, who was probably their most threatening player on the night, just kind of sums up that Solskjaer kind of doesn't have a clue what he's doing, if we're being honest. I think obviously, he's kept Martial on the pitch, who, let's be honest, he couldn't score in the brothel at the minute, Anthony Martial. Not to try and jinx it for you there, Corey, but to keep him on the pitch and take Cavani off, it seems weird because Man United aren't even guaranteed to get through in the Champions League. So as Joe says, if Solskjaer loses this and then he's got to go to Leipzig away, Leipzig away is not an easy game at all, loses that as well, he might even be gone by the time that
they get beat by City as well, I think. I think they get beat by City
on the run.
But this is the thing about Ollie, right? He benefits from almost systems that suit him. Every team that comes onto him, Leipzig will come onto him, Manchester City will come onto him. I wouldn't be surprised if United get a result. You see against PSG, when PSG sat back that first half, United, no idea what to do. They struggled. They couldn't move in behind. Then obviously United fans are saying, well, we played really well in the game. You did for 20 minutes when PSG decided to press you and Neymar pushed forward. And then you see the minute Maguire goes up, I think it was for that third goal, completely pulled out of position. Obviously, you've got Mbappe, which is a ridiculous option to have on the counter. But United are so susceptible to that. And I don't think people really... I mean, people criticise Ollie. I don't think they do it enough. I actually think Manchester United almost fall into results. Like I think against Southampton, Van der Beek, Cavani, Bruno Fernandes pulled them out just because of their mobility, pulled Southampton around. But Ollie didn't do that. They were chasing the lead. They had to push forward. Yeah. And that's my biggest gripe with him is he actually doesn't really know what he's doing. So fingers crossed we do him over.
Love that, mate. Yes.
Well, let's get some predictions in then. Let's stop this before we start getting called MUTV chat. Let's go for some predictions. Locks, what you saying, mate? What you saying? Bearing in mind, we do have a West Ham fan in the audience, so be careful what you predict here, mate.
No, I do think it's going to be a close game. I think Man United will win 1-0. I'm going for just to nick a goal on the counter at some point in the game. Who that's going to be, who scores? Bruno, I'm sure will have some type of input in it. It could even be a penalty. But yeah, 1-0 Manchester United. I'm going with.
Corey, what you saying, man?
I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. I think United will get a goal. I think they've got enough to get a goal, but I think West Ham will hurt them on the counter.
Wayman?
I mirror that, me, mate. I think 2-1 West Ham as well, and I'm hoping that's the result as well because I want to see Man United get beat as per.
I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I think Bowen against Tellez or Shaw. I think that is a real mismatch that in terms of pace. I'm fancying West Ham to win that. Definitely fancying them to win that. But let's move on then. Let's move on to Locks. Obviously, your team is back in action. It's been disappointing, hasn't it, since the international break? I mean, obviously, last time we had you on, mate, we were talking about Leicester in a genuine title challenge. Obviously, it's not quite gone to plan since, but you are playing Sheffield United. Sheffield United, Leicester is the game. Sheffield United taking a point all season so far. I know as disappointing as that Fulham game was, do you still go into this game with decent confidence?
No. No, not at all. I think I'd rather be facing a Man United or a Man City now, to be honest with you, than a Sheffield United. A big problem since we've returned from the international break, teams have sat behind the ball. It's quite ironic, really, because it's what Leicester have done for the past few years. Sit behind the ball and hit teams on the counter. That's what teams have been trying to do to us. Fulham on Monday was crazy. We can't break teams down when we've got the ball. We can't break teams down. Everyone knows Leicester are at their best when they're counter-attacking, and we're just not getting the chances to do that at the minute. We're sat 4th in the league, 3 points off top place, but we have created the least chances in the Premier League this season. I didn't know if you knew that. 1/3 of our goals are penalties this season. I believe we've had 7 penalties this season with goals. So, yeah, it's not looking great at the minute. It's quite similar to Manchester United and Ole. I think, it's been kind of plan A or nothing with Leicester recently. It's just not working. We said in midweek, the big teams are going to start sitting behind the ball now against us because they know it's going to get a result. So I'm not too confident. The only hope I have is that we may switch back to a 4 at the back. We have been playing this 3 or 5, whichever way you want to look at it, with the wing backs providing width or so, but it's just not worked. On the counter, teams are getting those diagonal balls in, behind the wing backs, and it's causing big problems at the minute. So I think a lot of Leicester fans are wanting to, revert back to a back 4. So I'm not overly confident, and I don't think a lot of Leicester fans actually are.
Do you know what's mad with that as well, Lux? It's a bit like, so it's more the systems, isn't it, rather than the team? Because if you look at Leeds are tailor-made for Leicester. We said that before the game. I said that as a Leeds United fan. Leicester are tailor-made to play Leeds United. We're sitting, Leeds are going to commit men forward. We nick the ball, we're away. We've got the pace to hurt them. Palace were the same. It's like a lot of Leeds fans are very confident about that Man United game. But like Corey says, I'm more worried about that because they'll sit in and they have pace, on the break to burn. And sometimes you just come up against systems. It's like when I look at the Chelsea game, when we go up against Liverpool, City, etc., we'll get more joy out of them games than we will do for me against, I don't know, a Burnley, a Newcastle. I know they're really poor, but just how they'll adopt and sit men behind the ball. Do you know what I mean? And it's more so the style you come up against, isn't it, at times?
Yeah, I mean, we played a back 4 at the start of the season before Soyuncu got injured. We played a back 4. We beat teams like West Brom and Burnley. We did well in those games. And then when, we had so many injuries, Ndidi out, Soyuncu out, we switched back to the back 3. It was a bit like England at the World Cup. The centre-backs aren't good enough, so we just put them in a 3. But it is leaving us susceptible to the counter-attacks behind the wing-backs in the corners. So although we did play a 4 last night and we got beat to, farmers, I think that's a nice way of putting it. So, yeah, I'm not, to be fair, I mean, I've just been speaking to Hal on my show just because he's going out with his missus, so he couldn't stay long. But he had a quick chat, and he was saying the same thing. It's going to be a difficult game for Leicester just because of the start. The way that Sheffield United are playing at the minute. And I mean, I'll give you my prediction in a minute, but it's goalless for me. It's goalless on Sunday. Yeah.
What do you think to that, though, Ben? That Joe just flashed up then, Under. I mean, he's not started many games. I see why. I don't get it. Obviously, Under, Barnes on the bench. I'm looking at Leicester at the minute. You got Maddison, Prayet, Tielemans, all kind of like ball magnets. Do you not need more? Do you not feel you need more pace in the team at the minute, Locks?
Yeah, I mean, Under's been great since when he has played. He's been the closest thing to Riyad Mahrez that we've had since Riyad Mahrez left. Wanting to take players on, trying to have a long shot with his left foot, whip balls in with his left. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Leicester fans now are slowly kind of getting to the point where, they would rather Under in the team over, I mean, whoever's playing on the right. I mean, Pratt's been playing on the right as well, further forward recently. Leicester have struggled with wingers since Riyad Mahrez. I mean, Harvey Barnes, of course, we all know he's a good young talent, but he's nowhere near the finished article yet. His end product is the worst part of his game. So we have struggled in the final third of the pitch sometimes. But yeah, I think the more games Under plays, the better when he plays again, we do look better. So I am excited to see how he develops. It's just a shame it is a loan deal. But then again, it is an option to buy as well. So who knows? But yeah, he definitely looks an exciting player.
How's Fofana been recently? Still doing bits, or
no? Not so. I mean, I was on it last time I was on here. I was saying, game after game, he's just provide.
Sergio Ramos, you were saying last time.
Yeah, mate. Honestly,
no, I was with someone. I think is it called What the Foxes podcast or something, or
yes,
What the Fox?
Yes,
yeah, and he was the same, saying how great he was, because I was talking about Ben White, and he was saying this Fofana is amazing, but you're saying he's not been great the last few.
Yeah, I mean, he dyed it. He bleached his hair.
I've seen that. I did see that.
Yeah. And since then, it's gone downhill. But he has put on Twitter that he's going to dye it back because of how poor the performances have been. But no, I think there's just one. I mean, in those first few games where he was playing, he was looking like the best defender in the league. That's how he was looking. Brendan Rodgers came out and he said, look, he's a young lad, he's going to make mistakes along the way. We just haven't seen them yet. And, since then it has kind of, we've seen all the mistakes. I mean, he likes to, the way he kind of picks the ball up and drives forward, it is kind of how Harry Maguire played for us, like a ball playing centre back. But I think the biggest problem to his game is he really too often tries to get in front of the ball, in front of the defender, and if that doesn't pay off, then whoever it is, whether it's Rashford or even some Sheffield United players, Jared Bowen, whoever it is, they will take advantage of that with their pace. So yeah, it's a little problem. I'm sure that it will be kind of trained out of him, but at the minute, yeah, he's not had the best few games, as well as the whole the whole squad really. But that is the main problem with him. I think he's just, he's going in, he's trying to get in front of the defender when the ball's being played in, and obviously when he can't make it, it's causing a problem on the break.
I've said that about Cocklow a few times. It's a little bit overzealous, wanting to do too well. The ball comes in, trying to nick in front, and like you say, if they don't get there, then they're through, aren't they? And I've said that before. I mean, we've seen one before where Cox jumped past like two men, trying to win the ball, and he's like gone past the. You're like, where is he going? Do you know what I mean? Just calm down a little bit. But I think it's like you say, maybe that age experience, just wanting to do well.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Corey, I think personally, this is the big what Ross says here. The massive thing is Ricardo Pereira being back in that Leicester team. I think last season, especially. I think obviously Alexander-Arnold got all the plaudits, but for me, in terms of all-round right-backs, I think Pereira is he is unreal for me. I mean, I think Locks is playing his team down a bit there, mate. I think what are you thinking going into this? Sheffield United, Leicester. Do you think Leicester, if they're anywhere near on top form, they're going to beat this Sheffield United team?
God, I mean, look, I don't think Sheffield United, I know the results don't say a lot, but when we played them, they did put us under pressure, and it could actually suit Leicester, to be fair. Sheffield United will press their entire team forward, try and hit switch balls and things like that. I have watched Leicester. I watched them against Braga as well, and particularly with their right wing back, I think it was all Brighton. He was just getting picked off time and time and time again. And I thought, that's crazy. You don't really associate that with Leicester, particularly you saw them against Manchester City, and they sat really deep and soaked up pressure. Again, when West Ham played Leicester, first half, we pushed our midfield, pressed them. They couldn't play through the lines. It hurts them in that sense as well. You can really get to Leicester and you can hurt them, but possibly, Sheffield United, they lack a cutting edge. Saw that against West Ham. They can't, there's no real key striker in there. I think McBurney had one chance. I reckon it actually suits Leicester, if I'm honest. It depends how Rodgers wants to play it. If he wants to go and press Sheffield United, maybe less so, because I do think they'll find an outball. But you've got, you can't write off. I really rate Harvey Barnes. I really rate Jamie Vardy. I think, if they come onto them, then two have got enough pace. Under as well. You see against Arsenal, that type of pace in behind. I think Leicester are clear favourites for this game. I know Locks isn't feeling too confident, but Sheffield United, they can't score, mate. They can't score. That's their problem.
Did you see some of the chances they missed as well? Like Mousset missed from about 6 yards out, I think, against West Brom. Like you say, McBurney had a couple. Like some of them were shocking. Like some of the misses they made. It's just not falling for them, is it? And I don't think they'll. I can't see them beating Leicester. Maybe a draw, but yeah, no.
Give us a prediction, Wayman.
2-0 Leicester.
Corey?
Yeah, completely agree. 2-0.
Go on then. Are you still sticking with 0-0, Locks?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, I know it's not what they do all the time, Sheffield United, but teams at the minute, they know that if they sit back behind the ball with Leicester, they have a good chance of getting a result. And I think Sheffield United would take a 0-0 over Leicester. I'm pretty certain of that. So I'm going to stick with it. I think we're going to struggle to break them down at times. So I'm going to go 0-0, unfortunately.
I'm going to go with Corey and Joe. I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I'm in full agreement. I just think just too much in that Leicester team. If Vardy's anywhere near on it, I think Sheffield United struggles to cope with the pace for me. But yeah, let's move on then. Let's move on to probably the second biggest game of the weekend after Chelsea Leeds. Let's go on to the North London derby. I mean, obviously Mikel Arteta has kind of been hammered a bit this week. I think he's had a bit of a hammering. A couple of rumours about if he loses this game, he's potentially in serious trouble of losing his job. Got a big win. Again, big win, but again, the kind of game you expected to win yesterday against Rapid Vienna. I mean, Joe, what are you thinking now with Arsenal? I mean, do you think Arteta, is it justified? Should he be given a bit more time considering he's won an FA Cup? He's kind of gotten playing a little bit. I know the last couple of weeks have kind of fallen away a bit, but I know what's your opinion on Arteta? Do you think he really is in a bit of bothering at the minute?
Yeah, I just want to shout out all things Leeds TV. It must be his birthday. Happy birthday. He watches us all the time. I'm not going to sing, but I am going to say happy birthday. Big shout.
Birthday, mate.
Just for the originals that I know watches all the time. On Arteta, look, Arsenal fans can be very, very frustrating because I would give anything as a Leeds United fan to see us win major silverware. I know in my lifetime, 91, 92, but listen, I'm 4-year-old. I know nothing about it, really. Let's be honest. Yes, we win the championship, but now we're in the big leagues. It's like, I'd love to win something like the FA Cup as often as Arsenal do, And Arteta's still in his infancy. And we look at some of the other managers across the division that are in that same boat as him, and none of them have won any silverware. Arteta's won silverware. But having said that, he's had a worse start than Emery. I think he's even had a worse start than Bruce Rioch, which is like Arsenal's worst ever Premier League manager. I don't know much about Arsenal's history. I'm just regurgitating what I've heard. But obviously, he's got a really poor record. And it's, for me as well, it's the football they're playing. Having played them, obviously, I don't watch a lot of Arsenal like religiously, but having played them, they were pretty gash. Like they were poor, like really poor. And I just don't see how he's able to change it. He seems a bit set in his ways. Aubameyang, I don't know what's happened there. It's really strange. He signed a new deal and now can't score for toffee.
We've seen it before at Arsenal, though. I think Ozil, when he signed that new deal, I think obviously Wilshere, a couple of players like that, Fabregas, they've all signed these deals and they've all fallen away. I mean, you've got to question that Arsenal recruitment as much as anything. The people at the top making those decisions. I mean, bizarre.
Their wage bill's probably still one of the biggest in the division, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably up there. So, yeah, I mean, if they were to lose, and if they were to lose well, like, the pressure's going to be on massively, let's be honest. Like, Arsenal Fan TV is going to be a joy to watch Do you know what I mean? So it's mad, isn't it? And I know some fans aren't very happy with him anyway. So if he were to get a bit of a spanking, did Mourinho come out as well midweek and say something like the game in the Europa League was the big game this week, not the Arsenal game? You know what I mean? And I don't know though, the way Mourinho sets up, and I think it could be very similar to the Chelsea-Tottenham game. I think it'll have all this build up, and it'll just be a bit of a damp squib, to be honest, I think. But he probably is in trouble, Oscar, yeah, if he loses. Sorry.
I mean, Corey, do you look at Tottenham now, with obviously how inconsistent Liverpool have been start of the season? City haven't started particularly well either. Are Tottenham genuine title contenders, in your opinion?
I hate this question. Because you know.
He saves it every time.
I thought, am I going to ask Locks this, or are we going to go to Corey? I'm going to go to Corey here. I know how much he loves Mourinho and.
I don't mind Mourinho. I hate Spurs, but what I will say is, yes, they are. I think the City game for me proved that. Hit them on the counter. They're really good defensively. You've got Kane, Son there, the pace. They've got Højbjerg in there mopping things up just behind. Ndombele as well. He's been a bit of a revelation this season. They've got a really good overall squad. You see the Chelsea game. Obviously, I think we all knew it was going to be boring. And at times, I see him slot back Sissoko into another centre-back role and Højbjerg. He was playing almost 6 at the back at times. Mourinho knows what to do in those games. I think this Arsenal game is going to be boring. I don't think Arteta's silly enough to go and attack Spurs. I think it suits him just to sit deep. So possibly it'll be a bit of a damp squib. But yeah, Tottenham overall this season, particularly in the big games, have impressed me. And I think Mourinho in this open league gives them that little bit of an edge, unfortunately. So, I think they're title contenders.
I mean, Locks, in my lifetime, other than like the last 2 years, North London, that side of London has always been Arsenal, really. There's always been Arsenal being one step ahead of Tottenham. I know a lot of Arsenal fans, to be fair, and Tottenham has always been the amount of gags related to Tottenham just not winning trophies. But with Mourinho there, it feels like there's going to be a power shift. I personally feel like Tottenham are going to win a trophy this year, whether it's the Premier League, FA Cup, Europa League. I think they're going to win one of those trophies. Whichever one it is, you just know with Mourinho, you almost guaranteed a trophy in that first season. But, I mean, for Arsenal, going into this, they're in poor form. It's Tottenham. It's Mourinho, who they're probably the last manager in the world they want to face. I think they've beaten him once or twice, I think, in the whole history of playing Mourinho. I mean, this is... If Arteta wins this game, though, I think all of a sudden, Arsenal are only actually 5 points off the top 4. It's that tight and inconsistent at the minute. I mean, where would you see Arsenal's problems going into this game? Is it purely just stopping Kane and Son?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Kane and Son this season and, over the past couple of seasons as well, they've been magnificent going forward. I think in terms of game management, Mourinho's is one of the best out there. And of course, for winning trophies as well. Like you said, I would agree with you. I think they're going to win something this year, which I'm sure Tottenham fans will be over the moon with. But yeah, they need to. Aubameyang, like you said, he's just not scoring. It is really strange. What's that? I hope you guys pick Arsenal.
It's a gal. It's a gal. A gal spitting feathers.
But Aubameyang's a problem at the minute. Like you said, it's sign this contract and or sign the ting as they say, and it's just not working out for them. So yeah, I think I don't know. I think Spurs are definitely title contenders, and this is these are the types of games that they need to be winning. As well as. Man City won it. Man City the other week. Games like that they need to keep winning to stay at the top. So yeah, I think Arsenal are going to have a few problems. And Kane and Son are just the start of that. Really, going forwards, they've not been good enough.
What I would say about Arsenal is, though, and just a general comment is, I think in the big games, I think under Arteta, I think they've been a mile better than what they were under Wenger, Emery. I think under Wenger and Emery, I think as Jordan Dick says before, it's inevitable to get absolutely battered in this game under Wenger or Emery. They don't show any pragmatism. They try and go toe-to-toe with them, and they get battered because of the quality difference. But I think under Arteta, they've beaten Liverpool, they've beaten City in the Cup, they've actually beaten Chelsea in the Cup final. Went to Man United away and won last week, not last week, sorry, a couple of weeks ago. I do think they're better in the big games. I do still think Arteta in time with a January transfer window will probably turn it around. But I mean, you look into that game, and obviously Partey is still missing. Corey. I mean, Partey's still missing. I mean, where do you think the big weaknesses in that Arsenal team? The big weakness, is it the centre backs?
Oh God, I mean, I don't actually think defensively they're that bad. I know they can get done with pace sometimes, but like you said, like Arteta is quite pragmatic. I think it's the creativity of Arsenal that's the real problem. They can't create anything. And I was laughing the other week, not the Europa League game just gone, the one before. He was playing some sort of 4-2-4 system, which Arteta was doing because he doesn't trust his centre backs enough, and he wants to get it into the forward then quick enough. And this week we saw Arsenal go and press, I think it was like Rapid Vienna or something like that, and they look more impressive. And I think, Arsenal lack that ability to continue to create. And obviously Partey gives them that kind of athleticism in the middle, that transition as well. I mean, it begs the question. Obviously, they keep talking about Ozil being on the sidelines and whether he should be in. Fortunately, I just don't think he fits Arteta's side. I don't think that there's room for a 10 in Arteta's system.
I'm just going to say, guys, there's 161 of you watching and only 57 likes at the minute. If you don't like the video, then you like Frank Lampard. That's as simple as that. Like the video if you dislike Frank Lampard. Like the video if Leeds are going to win tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. If you don't like the video, you like Frank Lampard. So there you go. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. It's down to you now. If I don't see those likes flashing up, then I lose a lot of respect for you guys, to be honest. I lose a lot of respect. Only kidding. But anyway, let's go for predictions then. Let's have some predictions in. Joe Wayman, what are you saying in this one?
0-0.
Corey?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 1-0. Harry Kane's got to score, surely, for Spurs. And I'm sure Arsenal will try and find something.
Locks?
2-0 Spurs.
2-0 Spurs. I'm thinking the same. I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. I'm going to go Aubameyang to break his duck. But then I just think Spurs are those options off the bench. Bale, Moura, Bergwijn. I mean, there's just too much quality there, isn't there? There's just too much quality. Lascelles. So I don't think Arsenal can compete with that, if I'm being honest. I'm going to go 3-1. I think Kane against David Luiz or Rob Holding, dragging him out of position is just, that's a big mismatch, isn't it? That's a big mismatch, if we're being honest. But yeah, let's move on to the next game anyway. Tottenham's main title contenders at the minute, Liverpool versus Wolves. I mean, obviously, the Wolves game, saw a shocking injury in that game. Obviously, it looks like Wolves are going to have, obviously, our best wishes to Raul Jimenez, who looks like has made a remarkably quick recovery so far. Already talking about getting back playing. He's that much of a warrior, to be fair. But Wolves are surely going to miss a presence like Raul Jimenez with how they play, aren't they, Joe? Surely.
Yeah, massively. I don't know. Is it the young kid? Who's going to lead the line? Is it the young kid?
Fabio Silva.
Yeah. Is he going to be the one leading the line? Yeah, massive loss. He's huge up there for them. I heard someone speaking, I think it was a Leeds podcast actually, and they were just talking about quality of player and signings Leeds need to make, and they were talking about just how much of an influence bringing in Jimenez did when at Wolves. He's a huge figure for them. He's going to be a massive loss. I think it's quite interesting to see Nuno change his system slightly against Arsenal. I think for me, going up against Liverpool, I'll never doubt them again after I did when they played Leicester, because it just shocked me the way they brushed Leicester aside, and I thought Leicester were genuinely going to beat them that day. And if I'm Nuno, I'm changing my system back to the 3 centre-backs and the wing-backs against this Liverpool side. I wouldn't go as open and switch it up like they did against Arsenal, because I think they get beat quite easily. And of course, the return of Jota. If you want a first goal scorer bet, put it on Jota. Believe me. I'm even considering backing him for a brace. He's going to score. And I think Liverpool will just have too much for Wolves. I think the loss that they had at Atlanta really sort of like came at the right time. And I think just keep going from strength to strength in the Premier League for me, and I can't see anything past the Liverpool win.
I mean, Locks, obviously going into this game, Liverpool have had, a pretty bad last 3 games. It's no wins in 3 in all competitions, and 3, I saw them against Ajax in the second half, and there wasn't much there with Liverpool, and it wasn't like they had a poor team out. They had Mane, Jota, Salah as the front 3, and Firmino came on, and it looks really flat, to be honest, Liverpool. And obviously, we'll go on to something else as well about obviously what Jurgen Klopp said in the week. Me and Joe have had pretty big thoughts on that one. It'd be interesting to see what you guys think about that. But what do you see from this Liverpool team? Do you still see them as being as good as what they've been for the last 2 years? Or do you think there's genuinely a drop-off in quality from that Liverpool team? Obviously, I know they played really well against you, but in terms of how you've seen them over the season so far?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a drop-off. I mean, the players that they've lost, even though they've got, players who have come in and, I mean, the replacements did a job against us, of course, but I think there's always going to be a drop-off when you lose, key players, Van Dijk, Trent, obviously, and not just kind of technically, mentally as well. When those players know that those key players are out, it's going to have an effect. But I think they've got more than enough going forwards. I think they've got really no excuse for that. Obviously, Jota, you would argue is probably makes them better than having Firmino in the team. I think Joe's right. Definitely Jota to score one or two, even a hat trick. Who knows on the weekend? But yeah, I think. I mean, with Wolves, they've not no Jimenez for this game, but they've got players who can cause damage as well. I mean, Podence has been brilliant. I mean, that goal he scored against Arsenal, it was magnificent. The control of the ball he had. So, yeah, I think I see it being a close-ish game. I don't see that maybe 1 or 2 goals in it, maybe something like that. But I think Liverpool, like you said, just have too much going forwards. Salah's only been back a couple games, and obviously he wouldn't have been fully match fit, because he was off for 2 weeks or so. So I think the more game time he has now, the better he'll get back to his best.
I mean, Corey, obviously the big thing for Liverpool last couple of seasons, has been the wing backs. I know obviously Robertson's okay. Robertson's still in the team, but obviously Nico Williams has come in for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I have to say, from what I've seen of him so far, I think certainly the defensive side of his game leaves a lot to be desired at the minute. I think obviously going forward, he looks good. Probably not quite Trent Alexander-Arnold's quality, but defensively, surely that's going to be an area that Wolves target. You know what? You saw Wolves on Sunday against Arsenal. They targeted Hector Bellerin. Do you see them doing the same to Nico Williams with Podence, Neto drifting out to that side? And do you think they can hurt Liverpool in those areas?
Yeah, I mean, look, it depends what Nuno wants to do, whether he wants to go back to the 3-4-3 or whether he wants to play the same way against Arsenal. I thought going forward against Arsenal, they were fantastic, even without Jimenez, Traore on the right, Podence in that 10 role, Neto as well. They can pull Liverpool about a bit. I think where Jurgen's been quite clever with the players that he's got is, the likes of Nico Williams or someone slotting in at that right back. He's told them just to sit back a little bit. The fullbacks don't tend to push on as much as they used to. And obviously they've got a little bit more mobility with Jota up front. So I think Jurgen has got his ways of overcoming it. It just purely depends on what Wolves want. I think they can sit deep, they can frustrate Liverpool. But someone like Jota, as we've already discussed, honestly, against West Ham, he was the game changer. He was the guy that could get in behind. And you look at Wolves, particularly, if they're in a back 4 as well, I think Jota will have so much success. So it depends. But I think Liverpool are still proving that they're still a consistent team. Jurgen Klopp is a top-class manager. Henderson, by the way, in that last game against, it could have been Brighton or maybe midweek, I thought he's fantastic. And the work he does off the ball doesn't get cited enough. And even I thought he was a little bit overrated. But if he stays fit, then they can keep it together for just a little bit longer until some of those centre-backs come back.
I've got to say, someone else who's caught my eye is Curtis Jones, who plays for the... I mean, he's got some strike on him, to be fair. He can score some wonder goals. But, I mean, Joe, would you still say... I'm not going to give you, do you think they're going to win the league? But do you still think Liverpool are the team to beat in this league? Do you still see that? Do you still see them above City, above Tottenham, etc., etc.? Do you still think they are, even without Van Dijk? Obviously, Thiago is actually out until January now. Do you
really?
still see him as the team? Yeah, apparently it's going to be January until he's back. He's actually only played, I think, 2 games so far. Are they still the team to beat, though, do you think, mate?
Yeah, they're barometer, the benchmark, aren't they? Like, yeah, definitely. I mean, all we're looking at really, obviously, after they've absolutely spanked Leicester. Let's be honest. When the majority of us, I think, even on this show, thought, this is the time that Leicester, that Liverpool are going to get beat. Yes, they've lost in the Champions League. They've drawn with Brighton, but that's it. It's not. There's nothing to be worried about. I fully expect them to go and beat Wolves and just continue to go on a run. I think they are the team to beat, and I think they're going to win the league, if I'm being totally honest. I genuinely think that Leicester game was huge. It was huge. Yeah. It was such a big moment for me, and I think it's maybe overlooked because for them to come out and do what they did, and I think a lot of that's due to Klopp and the camp, and I guess the camaraderie and how their backs against the wall. They're probably seeing a lot of it. Well, they could actually lose. Leicester are flying, and it's brought them all together, and they came out and absolutely bossed it. So yeah, they're still the team to beat for me. Drawing against Brighton. I mean, Brighton are a decent side. They just don't score enough goals. They are a decent side. They play some good stuff at times. I'm trying to think back to the game as well. Obviously, there was a goal disallowed as well, weren't there?
Mane, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mane, yeah. So, I don't know. And was the penalty as well? Who's the penalty?
Two penalties.
Yeah, the Welbeck one. It's not a penalty, is it?
What, the one that was given?
Yeah, the Welbeck one.
Oh, see, the way I fall on this, right, is that they gave one to Liverpool when Masuaku kicked Salah. So Liverpool fans moaning about that, they can't, because the same logic they apply to that has to be applied to this. I think it's soft, but then I guess...
It is very soft, isn't it?
Of course it is. Like, if it happened against us, that's exactly my fault. But if you're going to give it, just be consistent. I think that's what we all think. So, yeah, could have gone either way, mate.
Without VAR, I don't think that's given, to be honest. I don't think
that's what I mean.
Strong enough to say in the last minute of a game. I think only because of VAR that gets given. And I think a referee in the last minute of a game, it's got to be pretty clear to give a penalty in those kind of situations, hasn't it? But obviously, the other thing going into this game is obviously Jurgen Klopp's had a bit of a moan. It'd be interesting to see what you fellas think about it. Obviously, he's very much at the front of the queue asking for the 5 substitutions. Obviously, Champions League, Europa League, European leagues, the Championship have all got 5 substitutions. But I think what me and Joe said is we didn't like to admit it, but we actually agree with Gary Neville's take on it. That I don't think it really makes much of a difference. I think is it just deflecting? Do you think, Locks? Do you think is Klopp just deflecting blame a little bit in terms of Liverpool's kind of patchy recent form, or do you think he's genuinely got a point here?
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, obviously, he said in his interview it's not to change, system or anything like that. But, Klopp may well mean, what he says about it is just, for saving the legs and all of that and trying to prevent injuries. But it will be used as a change of system, down the line somewhere. It will be used, and it is going to disadvantage the teams with, less squad depth, Leicester being one of them at the minute, if you've got a game, Leicester playing Man City, and Leicester are 1-0 up, and then they bring on, we all know that Man City have quality world-class players on their bench. If they can bring on 5 of them, late on in the game, it's going to cause big issues. So, yeah, Klopp may well mean what he says about, preventing injuries and stuff like that, because obviously they have had a bit of a poor time with that recently. But I have no doubt that it will be used at some point by certain clubs and certain managers for a change of system, to be used tactically and not just because of fitness. So personally, I'm not for it. I hope that we stay with the 3.
Can I just say as well, like with anything, when especially the big clubs, if given something, it'd be very hard for me to then take it away.
Yeah.
And once it's in. And it only benefits, like Locke says, the big clubs. And Klopp, like Gary Neville saying, Klopp coming out and saying he would have changed Milner, he would have changed Robertson in that game. And Gary Neville went, not a chance would he have done that. Defending, no way, So I agree with Gary Neville 100%. I think Gary Neville even put up the statistics to show it's actually not as bad as these managers are making out. Yes, they're more muscle injuries. I don't know what you can put that down to. But yeah, and I'm just concerned that once given, it's hard to take it away, and then that, long term is just gonna benefit the big clubs, man. It'd be a nightmare, and it'd just be
spoils the games as well, doesn't it? I always think when the football returns, like June to July, and the Championship especially, how many games did you see Leeds involved in? Where the opposition would make 3 changes straight away, and then 2. It's like a pre-season games, aren't they? I mean, it just spoiled. You're changing half your team, and I think Jamie Carragher made the point that it's almost like it gives managers an excuse then that you can just, if you make a poor team selection, you can make 3 changes at half time.
Yeah,
change the whole shape of the game at half time. Team selection matters less.
What happens if someone gets a red card? Can you imagine, right? You're bottom of the league, you're going up against top of the league, and they get a red card. We've got a chance. Then Klopp goes, right, here's 4 bodies on, switch around, and it's back to normal, and it's not fair. It wouldn't be fair.
Corey, do you echo these thoughts, mate?
Oh, 100%, mate. I've got a bit of a thing about Klopp coming out on sort of broadcasters and having a pop at the interviewers. I mean, I do get it. The solution to this problem is to stop, playing games Wednesday and Saturday. If there's an opportunity, like we played Aston Villa on Monday, just switch it around. It doesn't bother us. We're not in Europe. The 5 sub rule I'm massively against, because it's all right him saying, oh, we wouldn't change it and blah, blah, this, that and the other. But like Locks has touched on, Manchester City, the players they can, it makes it tough for teams with less squad depth. West Ham have got the worst squad depth in the league, 100%. Right? We've got Mikel Antonio out for a month. We've only got 1 recognised striker. If Liverpool can bring on 5 subs, even if we're holding back and it's a 1-0, the chances some of these teams have got, it is so little. So I just see it as like one of those rules that the top 6 want, so it makes it easier for them to win. And I can't back it. I get the muscle injuries. There has to be some form of management from the managers anyway in terms of rotation. If they change it and they give them more time on Monday night fixtures, fine. I think that would be a reasonable solution. But let's not start giving them 4 or 5 subs to make in a game. It's ridiculous.
Do you know what as well? I think, sorry, just to jump in, further down the line, what it would also enable these top clubs to do, for me, is to buy the cream of the crop of young English up-and-coming talent with the opportunity that, we'll put you on the bench and you're going to get game time at City if I've got 5 subs. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to, say, they might choose Leeds or West Ham or Leicester at the opportunity of game time. Whereas if City can say, well, we've got 5 subs, we're going to use you. It also has ramifications in that respect for me as well.
It changes the whole negotiation strategy of top club. They go to a top player from another country and they'll go, well, why would I come to say Chelsea? There's so many players, and say, well, don't worry about it. We've got 5 subs, so you come on and you're playing. You've got Europe as well. It changes everything. So,
and do you not think this is just undercover the top 6 trying to gain control? Yeah, we've seen it. Of
course, it is.
I mean, Klopp for me. How often does Klopp, before he signed Diogo Jota, did he drop Mane, Salah, Firmino? He doesn't rotate. Klopp doesn't rotate. He doesn't change his back. The back 4 stays the same. The goalkeeper stays the same. Might make the odd change in midfield, but it's not like he makes changes. He keeps it pretty much the same. So he's just talking nonsense for me, guys. I think he's just talking nonsense. And I like Klopp. I really do like Klopp, to be fair.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think, everything's, well, not everything, but a lot of things have gone for Liverpool over the last year or 2. And obviously at the minute, they're not. They've been moaning a lot, obviously injuries and fixture congestion. Leicester have had, just an example, the amount of injuries Leicester have had to key players. I mean, we were talking about Ricardo earlier, Ndidi, Castagne's now out. Soyuncu, he was injured and he got injured again last night after 16 minutes. So, and Leicester played on Monday earlier this week, and they played then obviously yesterday, then Monday and Thursday, and we're not moaning about it. We're not kind of complaining. You don't see Brendan Rodgers coming out moaning about it. So, yeah, I think a lot of things have gone for Liverpool over the last year and a half, and obviously now they're not. And it's another excuse for Klopp to come out and moan about it constantly.
Do you know what Corey said though about that game and Liverpool being able to bring on 5 players. When you actually see it in black and white, like this person here, Prayash Shahaji, has put in the comments, when you see it in black and white there, Leeds United, the winning or the holding on 1-1, and then Lampard, 10 minutes to go or whatever, 20 minutes to go, brings Pulisic, Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, Giroud and Jorginho. Do you know what I mean? You, as an opposing, you'd be like, oh, what's the point, man? We ain't got a chance. You know, we're bringing on Jamie Shaq. With all due respect, these are young kids that haven't had a lot of game time. It really would tip the balance. But it's not the same, is it? But like Phantom 10 says, we are so dilution. I don't know what that means, but there you go.
I was going to say, Joe, just to come on that point as well, like the fact that we're talking just about purely attacking players. Imagine someone goes and wins a game 3-0 and then they just chuck on a couple of defenders. Then you've got there's no comebacks. The game changes as well. So it's such a, it does my head in the Big Six and some of the stuff that keeps going under the radar at the moment. It's getting a bit much.
Yeah, you never thought about that. I've never thought about that, actually, the defensive side of it as well. Just bring on like 5 centre-backs, you know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, it's a good show.
Don't let Mikel Arteta hear that. Flipping heck, Paella Pulis. If he went 1-up against Tottenham, you just see Aubameyang, Lacazette just off. You're off, right? You're off. Right, get 2 goalkeepers on, everything.
Yeah.
Go on, let's have some predictions then. Wayman, Liverpool Wolves at Anfield. What are you saying?
2-0 Liverpool.
Corey?
I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool. It's got to be Jota, I think, to get the winner.
Locks, go on then, mate. What are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to go, 2. I think Liverpool have too much. 2-1 Liverpool, and like Corey said, a winner from Jota.
I'm going to be I think Wolves get something here. I genuinely think Wolves get something here. I think Pedence, Neto, ruling in that back 4. I think that back 4 is a little bit without Van Dijk. Alisson's out as well, potentially. Alisson's out this game. And when Adrian plays, we all know that changes the whole complexion.
They used the other kid, though, didn't they, in midweek? Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. I mean, that's pretty brutal for Adrian, isn't it? You'd be like, oh, no.
He's got his Premier League medal.
I back him, though.
Yeah, true.
They'll get something, Wolves. They'll get something here. 1-1, I'll go for. I'll go 1-1. Jota will score, though. That's inevitable. That's an inevitability. Just as the inevitability is the last game we're going to discuss is the biggest one of the weekend. It's Chelsea versus Leeds. The last game Leeds played in the Premier League before getting relegated in 2004 was Chelsea, and we're back at Stamford Bridge. 2,000 fans in there. Locks, I mean, obviously me and Joe have spoken a little bit about the fans element of it. Do you think that makes any difference going into this game? And who do you think it actually gives the advantage to, Chelsea or Leeds?
Yeah, is it away? Is it away, yeah?
Away, yeah. But
only the Chelsea fans are allowed in, right? Because...
£75 a ticket. Did you guys, sorry, just to jump in, did you see what they were trying to charge for?
Yeah, ridiculous, wasn't it?
Oh man, it was like 400 and odd quid. You got 3-course dinner, champagne on arrival, complimentary bar, and cushioned seats or something for like.
Define Chelsea in a tweet. Define Chelsea, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't see the 2,000 fans really, impacting the game too much at all, really. I think, Leeds, they had such a good start. Obviously, they've, it was a good Rafinha, wasn't it? That wonder goal, Rafinha. So you've definitely got some, exciting players in there. I think. It's a hard one. I think, I don't think the fans will have a big impact on the game. I think Chelsea, Chelsea will be looking to, reach the top of the table, depending on how results go elsewhere. Chelsea fans, as always, getting a bit excited, reckoning they can win the league and all of that. And, Rory from all of that. But, I think it will be a close game, to be honest with you. I think obviously both teams will go for it, definitely. It'll be interesting to see if Giroud plays for Chelsea instead of Tammy Abraham. I'm not too sure if he will or not. I think Tammy might start this one, but it'll be interesting to see if he does. I've got this one down as a draw, if I'm honest. I don't know if that's. I will definitely be.
I'll take it, Locks. I'll take it, mate. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think Chelsea fans are getting a little bit too excited, so I think they need to be pegged down, back to reality, really. So I hope Leeds win. You know, I hope Leeds win, because I'm not a big fan of Chelsea as you guys are. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a close one.
That was, I think, that comment then off 147 Bazzi is the most innovative use of Frank Lampard's name I think I've used. I've not seen that one before, to be fair. I've not seen that one.
I didn't even see it. I just assumed it was Lampard.
I actually read it. It's Lampard at first. I thought, that doesn't look quite right. And I thought, oh, okay. But Corey, I mean, obviously the big debate with Chelsea at the minute is, it looks like 10 of their 11 seems pretty much locked in at the minute. Maybe Pulisic comes in for Ziyech. But other than that, it looks like it's going to be Giroud or Abraham up top. If you're a Leeds fan going into this game, mate, which we all know you are anyway.
Which he is.
Yeah, I knew he was going to find the
Who should Leeds be more? Who would you prefer to face out the two, if that's the best word for it? Or who do you think causes the more damage to this Leeds team in terms of the dynamics of the Leeds team?
What, Ziyech or Pulisic? Between the two?
Between like Giroud and Abraham.
Oh, Giroud and Abraham.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I personally think Abraham starts, if I'm honest, because when you watch Chelsea, their front three move around constantly. They interchange and they change wings and they try and make it difficult. So I think from that aspect, they'll try and hurt Leeds. Giroud, again, I possibly think that would be a bit easier for Leeds to deal with. I think Calvin Phillips coming against Everton. And I just thought he did an unbelievable job. And I was surprised. I'm so surprised. He's a good player. But when you see him dominate a game in the way that he did, and you realise that when he's not in the Leeds side, you struggle a lot defensively because, like you say, Robin Koch tries to win the ball. You don't have that holding midfielder. Obviously, Giroud hasn't got that movement, and he's not going to hurt you in the same way. Abraham may not hurt you, may not make direct runs, but if you've got Werner running from one side, Ziyech crossing it in, Pulisic, if he plays, is direct as well. I think Chelsea will score, unfortunately for you, but I think you'll get chances. I'm a bit sort of bemused by this Chelsea idea that they're going to walk the league all of a sudden. If you look at who they've played, the likes of Burnley, Newcastle, and against Newcastle, there was a period of time for about 10 minutes that Newcastle were creating chances with Joe Linton up front. So I think Leeds have got a little bit more going forward than Newcastle. So I think you can hurt Chelsea. Yes, they've addressed this kind of defensive issue. Thiago Silva comes in, Kante sits deep. I get it. Obviously, Frank Lampard's trying to add that to his side, but movement of Leeds is attacking players. The press as well is going to hurt them. If you push up your fullbacks onto theirs as well, I just think you'll get chances, mate. I think this is going to be an exciting game other than that West Ham United game.
I mean, obviously, Joe, going into this game, obviously it looks like Robin Koch's a doubt. Cox is out.
Yeah,
that is massive for me, that, in terms of our most aerially dominant centre-back. I think, obviously, Llorente is quite good in the air, but I don't think he's Robin Koch. I don't think he's got that aggression of a Robin Koch. I mean, against Abraham or Giroud, I'm a bit worried, mate. I've got to be honest. I'm a bit worried about that now. And then, obviously, how do you see our back four lining up then, if, say, the worst does come to the worst?
I think if Koch's out, I think, the saving grace from a Leeds fan perspective, I think we'll see Rodrigo come in. I don't see... I've seen some people in the comments saying maybe Llorente comes in. Don't see it. He's not fit enough. He hasn't played any under-23s football yet, although he probably will be in the matchday squad just in case of any injuries. Don't think Pascal Strout comes in because he's left-sided. I don't see that. I think what we'll see is Luke Ayling drop into centre-back. I think Dallas moves out to right-back. And then that frees up space for Rodrigo to come in midfield. I think it will be moving people around. If Koch is out, he hasn't been pictured in training for the last 3 days. So, I mean, he's probably out, isn't he? Let's be honest. So that's the way I would do it. And I think that's the way Bielsa will go. I don't see Strauch or Llorente coming in personally. Just want to pick up on what Corey said as well, just about Calvin. I mean, Calvin's out of the side. We get beat 4-1 by Leicester. We get beat 4-1 by Palace. He comes back into the side. We've had 2 clean sheets against Arsenal and Everton. Shows how pivotal he is. It'll be interesting to see. And this is, there's a lot. We've took a lot of heat. And no doubt if we get beat comprehensively, we'll take even more heat. But there's a lot being made about Lampard and us saying he's really not that great tactically. But Chelsea fans will have you say different. But for me, like Corey said, his 11, his individual players, put them up against the majority of teams, they will get a positive result. But whenever they've came up against anyone of note, including Southampton, Man United, Tottenham, Liverpool, they haven't won. So that tells you. And I'm really interested to see if Lampard does anything with Calvin. Because if you don't, he'll be allowed to dictate the game like he was at Everton. It was very surprising not to see Everton switch that up in the second half after the performance he had. They didn't change it at all. And we were saying before about how Ancelotti can be quite rigid. And he remained pretty rigid and didn't really adapt to that. So it'll be interesting to see if they do anything with Calvin, if they give him any sort of special... do a special job on him, because if they don't, then obviously we've seen against City, Oscar, in that first 20-25 minutes, City did a great job on Calvin and he got lost a little bit. He gave it away quite a bit because KDB, etc., were just pressing him as soon as they got the ball, and it also led Meslier into mistakes because Calvin was trying to get into positions and then, KDB, etc., were nipping in front. And Chelsea have the players to be able to do that. So it's whether or not they adopt that style, and let's see what Lampard's about. But the reason that gives me as a Leeds fan so much confidence is the fact that in every single game Bielsa came up against Lampard, literally Lampard was scratching his head. I know he's got a totally different level of player now than he did at that Derby side, but literally he was schooled. There's a lot made about that second, 45 minutes worth of football where we were beat by Derby, but that was due to Leeds. That was due to errors. That was due to the pressure of the occasion getting on top of them and not having experience to be able to deal with that we crumbled. I'm not a big fan of Lampard, so obviously I'm going to be blinkered anyway. But I'm not. I think the jury's still out on him. And if anyone is going to be able to get a positive result, it's going to be Bielsa, because he's done it previously and he's showed he can outsmart Lampard, and Lampard's been left scratching his head. I've seen people say 4-0. Rory, we were saying, he said 4-0 Chelsea. I've heard podcasts, saying Leeds will get schooled, Leeds will get beat 3. It's not happening. We will score. We will score for me because we will create. We've seen, if you look at a snapshot of the most chances created, Leeds are in the top 5 like 4 or 3 times. There's a reason that is. Yes, it can be gun-ho. Yes, we will concede chances. But I just think we'll create too much to not score. Although Chelsea have had 4 clean sheets in the last 5 or whatever it is. But I do fancy us to get one in the back of the net. And if we score first, back Leeds United to see it out, because we've only ever lost once out of 50. Out of 51 games under Bielsa, when he's gone in front first, we've only ever lost once, and that was against Wigan, and it was an absolute nightmare, and another one of them just freak games. Bielsa's so good when in front, we go in front, we see the games out, because he's so good tactically, man. He changes stuff up, and I'm really confident for the game. I'll take a point, though. I'll take a point, because I just don't want to get beat. But I think it could be high scoring, and I think it could be 3-2 Leeds United. Another Liverpool style, I think. I think it'll be boom, boom, boom. A bit like a boxing match.
Early prediction there enough, Wayman. But I was going to say, Jake, on behalf of all four of us, you are welcome. You are welcome. We have saved you. We have saved you from having to watch that on TV. Just keep it locked on Leeds TV, because every day we are going to have something out for you guys. Every day we'll have something out for you. Locks, mate, what you thinking going into this? Give us a prediction then, mate.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with the Rory's 4-0. Ridiculous. I think obviously you've had two clean sheets now. I do see Chelsea scoring. I also see Leeds scoring. It will be a close game. I'm going to go 1-1, which I'm sure you lads will take. But I'm going to go with a 1-1 this weekend.
Corey, what are you going with, mate?
I'm going to go 2-2. There's goals in this game, 100%. I think it's going to be end-to-end stuff. I'm actually really looking forward to it as a neutral. But yeah, I can't see either. It's not going to be a domination from either side. It's just going to be a constant back and forth. So it'll be an interesting one to see how it plays out. But like Joe says, Bielsa seems to have a little bit of that kind of edge over Lampard. Maybe you can get that 3-2. I don't know, but definitely 2-2 for me.
Big shout out from Travis. Look at that from Travis. This is what I'm saying. Chelsea are the best thing since sliced bread. They create. Rah, 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 rah. They haven't beaten a team above 13th. Boom. There you go. Sorry, Oscar.
That's to be fair, I didn't even know that. I thought it was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. But I'm going to go with Desmond as well. I'm going to go with Desmond 2-2. I just think Rafinha against Kante is an interesting one. I think that's the best battle on the pitch for me. Obviously, Rafinha trying to drag him out of position wherever Rafinha plays. I think Kante. I think for me, Rafinha's our most dangerous 1v1 player. Someone who can really carry the ball 20, 30 yards like he did against Everton, and the player who's probably most likely to produce that moment of magic outside the box at the minute. I just think Kante will be put on him.
Rodrigo, do you agree with my assessment in how Bielsa will change it, mate, if Koch is out, or would you do something different?
If Rodrigo's on that pitch with Rafinha, we cause the Chelsea team problems. Yeah. I think that is such an exciting proposition. Obviously, I think defensively, you look at it and think, "Ooh, that's a lot of former Championship players in that kind of back four." I've got to admit, but against Villa, it held firm. I know against Chelsea, it's a totally different end of the scale. It's a completely different end of the scale, but I think we will concede a few. I think obviously we're very susceptible to Giroud or Abraham from a cross into the box or a set piece. Thiago Silva, Zuma, who's got 3 already this season from set pieces. So I think we're susceptible to that, to be honest. Yeah. But I think going forward, Rodrigo, Harrison, Rafinha, Costa, Paredes come on. The pace element of it against Thiago Silva, Chilwell getting caught too high up the pitch, James getting caught too high up the pitch. I think it will create chances. I'm thinking 2-2. But we're not getting. I can't see us, touch wood, getting hammered in this. Even if we lose the game, I can't see it being a hammering. I think it's going to be a very tight end-to-end game. I think it's going to be a lot of big tackles, potential for big potential for a red card in this game. Massive potential for a red card. I think
if we're getting battered, I'd take a Calvin red card.
Nah.
He could get out against West Ham. Fine, I love that.
Oscar's fuming with that. He's
fuming about it, yeah.
No, I told him about the Calvin red card, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not having that. I'm off ski." Here he is. I think he's back. Let's have a look. There he is.
That's because you said Calvin red card then. That's the reaction. Nah, to be fair, the internet went there, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think big potential for a red card, in this game. I think there's going to be a VAR thing as well. It's guaranteed that either Lampard's going to be crying over a VAR decision, or he's going to get one, or he's going to get a really controversial one. It's so many things that are definitely going to happen. They're definitely going to score from a cross. There's definitely going to be a VAR decision, and we're definitely going to score on the counter-attack. I just see that happening. But I
think Oscar would probably prefer us to win through a contentious decision. To get one like Lampard would be just wounded, wouldn't he? So it'd be quite nice.
Oh, man, mate. Imagine the watch-along if that happens. Imagine the Chelsea fans in the comments. The tears. You can actually see the tears. Never mind, read them. It's but I guess that moves us on. Let's move it. I mean, obviously, we normally go to the before the whistle quiz on this stage, but we're going to do something a little bit different. We've all come up with a question each, an interesting question each. You have, lads, haven't you?
Yeah. We have.
Just wanted to check that.
Not cheating either. Don't be looking in the chat. Who was it? Was it Oscar last week?
That was me. But I knew it was.
It was definitely Corey. It's definitely Corey last week. He had
the
casual look around the corner.
I rewatched that and it looks massively suspect as well. Honestly, I was like,
brilliant.
Right, who's going first then? Who's going first?
I don't mind.
Well then, Joseph, let's hear your question.
So
we all get to go with it.
Yeah, you all get a go. I think that's only fair. And then if you get it right, I'll mark you down. You've got a point, yeah? So the question is, who was the top scorer in the first Premier League season? It's a good one, that, isn't it?
Andy Cole, I'm going to go with.
Cole. Okay. Locks?
Andy Cole's a good one. I don't know if I'm too early here. Alan Shearer.
No. Well, I said no. Go on, Corey.
I like that.
I was going to go Shearer as well, but I'm going to go Ian Wright, maybe.
The answer was Teddy Sheringham.
No way. Come
Yeah.
on, man. That's a tough one.
Blimey.
That's a tough one.
Did I go too tough? Yeah, I'll
That was
adjust.
good. That was class. That, you know. Was he playing for Forest then? Was he playing
Forest,
for
yeah,
Forest?
I'm assuming. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Go on then, Locks. Give us yours.
All right, it's quite a difficult one actually. Let's get it up. 1 second.
People are putting it like in the comments. I hope I've
Here
got
we
it right. It was Sheringham.
Okay. So, which? Right. Okay. So, name 2 of the Italians that have scored Premier League hat tricks. There's four. There's four. But
I know
you can name 2.
yes.
Name 2. Right. Yeah. Go on, Joe.
Gianfranco Zola and Fabrizio Ravanelli.
Right.
There's Oscar froze.
You've asked me this. Joe's asked me this question before. I was thinking, where have I used Fabrizio Ravanelli before? And I think you've asked. Right, I'm going to let Corey have this.
Okay. Fabrizio Ravanelli and Graziano Pelle for Southampton.
All right. Oscar?
Suspense, man.
Can you name a different one to Joe?
Who'd you go with, Joe? Ravanelli and Zola?
Yeah, I can get them all, me.
Balotelli.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 4 are Ravanelli, Vialli, Gianluca Vialli, Gianfranco Zola, and Mario Balotelli. So no Pele.
Too niche, man. Too niche.
Yeah.
Too niche.
So is that 1 point for Wayman? I'm taking that because normally I'm
It's a point
shocking.
to Wayman, that. It's a point
Point
to
to
Wayman.
you, Oscar, as well, wasn't it?
I'll take it. I'll take the point. Yeah. So go on then, Corey. Give us yours.
Right, I'm going to go West Ham theme because I'm sick and tired of being called Leeds fan. Right, so but it's a bit general.
Right.
Who is West Ham's all-time leading goal scorer in the Premier League?
I've got one. Are you ready?
I'm ready, man. Any one of you go.
Marlon Harewood.
I'm going to go. It probably isn't, but I'm going to go to Canio. That's the only person I'm thinking of who's been there long enough to be top scorer. I'm going to go to Canio.
I was going to go to Canio. No idea. I'm just going to go Mark Noble. Mark Noble.
All right, okay, so it's the Canio, but Mark Noble is only 1 goal off the Canio currently at the moment, been on top. So very, very
How
close.
far is Marlon Harewood off?
I was like, mate, he was only here for like 3 years, and like one of them was in the Championship. So
I went too niche. So who had it? So
too niche, like I did, yeah.
Locks, you can go for the same answer, you know.
Can I? Oh, fair
I'm
enough.
going to give you a point, Nick. Should have gone to Canio.
Give him the Canio.
Oscar's got 2. Locks on 1, me on 1. Corey, you going to get one tonight or what?
I thought I did. Do I not get
Come on, Corey,
Ravanelli? Does
step
that
up,
not
man.
count? Does it have to be
Right,
like
it's 2. You said, what,
Yeah,
do you want
you
half
said
a
Bill,
point?
didn't
Is
you?
that what we're saying? You want half
I
a
thought
point?
I thought it was 2 points and then 1 for Ravanelli. So I was like, I'm all right. Don't worry about it, man. I'll get better next week.
Well, this one, fellas, I guess I'm going to give a point for whoever gets each answer. Well, there's 4 answers to this. Okay. I want to hear Premier League goal scorers, hat-trick goal scorers, okay? Players who have got a hat-trick in the Premier League, but were born after the Euro 96 tournament. There's 4 players here. A point for each one you name. So you basically, however many goals you need. So whoever wants to give me a name, first of all, 4 hat-trick goal scorers in the Premier League born after Euro 96.
Jesus.
How old does that
Well,
make
it's
you now?
tough, man.
So that's 24 and younger.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I think. No, I don't. I dare say it because I make some outlandish name.
It's not Alan Shearer.
No, I know that much. I know it's not Shearer.
It's not Van Persie either.
Would Balotelli be one?
No. It's not. That's Balotelli's younger than you think, you know.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout, Balotelli, is it?
No, it's not at all.
Nah.
Go on, any other attempts?
I'll throw Marcus Rashford in there. I think he must have had
He
that.
hasn't. Believe it or not, he hasn't scored a hat trick in the Premier League.
Typical. Lets me down, man.
He's let you down, mate. He's let you down. Never trust a Man United player.
No,
I'll give you a hint there.
I'm going to go with...
No Man United players.
No, man.
I thought it was like a bluff.
I'm going to go with Calvert-Lewin.
Okay. Locks has got a point there. Locks has got a point. Calvert-Lewin against West Brom. So 1 point to Locks. Still free to go. Whoever wants to jump in next. No looking in the comments. Do not look in the comments.
No, I'm on the private chat.
Whoever's commenting here in the stop giving answers away here. I like this.
I can see some as well. I'm trying not to look.
Joe Wavens looks now. I mean, if that's your next answer now, I'm off, mate. I'm off. Go on then, Joe. Who are you saying? You've seen it as well.
He knows.
I'm gonna go. I know, but there's a few in there, so I might get it wrong. I'll probably choose the oldest one. Tammy Abraham.
Oh, of course you went with Tammy Abraham. Of course you know.
It was like Tammy.
You're thinking Tammy Abraham. Yeah. Point to Wayman there. Yeah, definitely no VAR there or looking at all. Just don't look at the comments, guys.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll put something in front of
Can you give us a clue or
right? I'll give you a clue.
Maybe a game.
Okay, there's 2 more to go. One of them, see. If I give this clue, Locks will get it straight away. To be fair, okay.
Will I?
Yeah, I've seen his name in the comments, so I think
I've not looked.
Okay, one. What's maybe the best clue here? I don't know what's going to be a good clue here. It's not going to give it away straight away. It's just going to give it away straight away if I give this clue.
You could give the opponent if you knew who the opponent was, or maybe the season.
Okay. One of the opponents was Burnley.
Harvey Barnes.
No. Harvey.
Oh, man,
no.
I swear he scored that.
No.
Oh, I'm done.
You're gonna have to.
This is really difficult.
There's someone's name who keeps cropping up. I won't answer anymore.
Oh, I think I haven't. I swear I haven't looked at the chat, but I think I know what you mean now by obvious. Was it Jota?
Yeah, he's got it because Diogo Jota scored a hat trick against Leicester.
That was a shocking game.
To be fair, that's 2 points for Locks. You know, even though Leicester lost the game, mate, you've still got the point there. To be fair, so look at the positives. one more to go. Okay, one more to go. I'll give you a clue. He joined the Premier League in the summer of 2019. This is his second season in the Premier League, and he scored the hat trick last season.
I think I know I know who it is because I can see it in the bloody comments.
And he's not a striker. He's not a striker.
God, man.
Come on, Corey. You can do it, man.
I don't know.
Think of the best young players in the Premier League. Think of the best young players in the Premier League and who's normally quite near the top of the list.
Oh, God.
Give him the club. Give him the club.
Oh, no. Give it. Too easy for giving me. I know Joe. Waitman knows it. What
area of England?
Is it easy when I find out?
Right. He's a winger.
Bernardo Silva.
Good attempt that, but no.
During the Premier League last season.
Cavani.
Was it a big transfer fee?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. He was signed from Germany. From one of the big two.
Oh,
You can't, the nationality's too easy, isn't it?
If I start doing the accent, it's just going to just...
God, man.
One of the big two.
It's
That's solid.
Dortmund or Bayern. God, man. Oh,
Signed last season.
I'll give you one more clue, and whoever jumps in first, because this will give it away. I might as well say his name at this point. He was brought in to replace someone who signed for Real Madrid in the summer of 2019.
That's a good clue, that.
Timo Werner. No, not Timo Werner. Pulisic.
I thought he bottled it. I thought he bottled it then. I thought you had bottled it at that point there, Corey. You've just about got in there, to be fair.
God sake. Timo Werner. It's gone to my head there.
Do you know there's a lot of people in the comments saying Ollie Watkins? Did he score a hat trick against Liverpool?
But
Yeah.
he's old.
Didn't he,
He's old, Ollie Watkins. Well, oldish.
How old is he?
He was born 1995, to be fair. I have covered myself there. He was born 1995, but that's a good attempt. Bamford's a good attempt as well, but again, born 93. But
what about Bernardo Silva? He did score a hat-trick, didn't he?
he did, yes.
How old is he?
Bernardo Silva, 96, but born before Euro 96, I believe.
Oh.
It's a good attempt. It's a good attempt.
To round it off after game week 1,
Yes.
pulling up the rear, Corey with 1, John Oscar with 2, Locks leading the line with 3.
I think Corey's got 2. Has he?
How? Oh,
He got that one at the end.
he basically was spoon fed his 1.
No, I've got Ravanelli. I'm still on the Ravanelli train.
Well, that means I've got 3 then. I got 2.
Yeah, fine then. No point for Corey on my one.
Oh, nice one, mate. Oh,
an independent.
I'm staying top.
We need an independent judicator each week.
yeah. Quizmaster.
I'm to be honest, I think Hal should be with us next week as well, and I know he'll pull out some crazy mad questions.
It'll be a university challenge level question as well. It'll be we'll need a whole episode just to answer the question. But just before we sign off, fellas, let's just remind ourselves of the sponsors of tonight's video, our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. Make sure you head over to him because it's not just Leeds stuff to do. I'm going to show you a bit of the Leeds stuff that is on offer at the minute in terms of available to be won, guys. 99 tickets. I might have changed those, to be fair. I don't know if Joe Wayman has the live counter, but 275. Join the queue. Join it, guys. Jack Harrison, signed montage, champions, historic piece of merchandise that. And of course, the main man himself, Patrick Bamford, 7 goals in 10 games. They said he wouldn't do it in the Premier League. Check that out. Patrick Bamford's boots, signed and framed. Is there anything you want more? I don't think there is. Forget Messi. Forget everyone else. Patrick Bamford's boot. That boot that did all the damage against Aston Villa. Just check it out, guys. Check out Football Prizes as well. They've got Lionel Messi signed shirts. They've got everything. Everyone. Even if you're not a Leeds fan watching this, they've got everyone as well.
No,
check them out, guys.
Stephen Gerrard, Roy Keane, £500 tax-free. You've got a 2018-19 Spurs squad signed and framed shirt. You've got Sir Geoff Hurst signed and framed England 1966 golden boot. There's some lovely stuff in there. The Leeds stuff as well. I've seen someone put on earlier on that the Leeds prizes are gone. They haven't. I've just checked. There's about 20 tickets left on both. So get yourself involved.
Check them out, guys. Check them out. After this video, go and check them out. Do us a favour, like the video, subscribe, and check out Football Prizes. I guess, guys, we're going to leave it there. It's another exciting week of Premier League football coming up. We will be back next Friday previewing. Or will we? Will we be back next Friday? Because I just
West Ham Leeds, mate.
Leeds West Ham.
Oh, yeah, it's Leeds West Ham.
What are we going to say? Are we going to say Thursday then? What are we going to say on that?
We'll do some. Yeah, we'll just change it. We'll just change it. We'll do Thursday if the lads can do it.
And Hal will be with us as well. Hal will be joined in our presence. The most intelligent, YouTuber around, will be joining us as well, of course. With
if you don't believe us, check his picture on the thumbnail. He looks so intelligent; it's unbelievable.
He looks like he's just handing in his 20th dissertation of the year. To be fair,
if he's watching
like he's found the COVID vaccine, he looks like he's found the COVID vaccine.
Ralph Little in it.
Any chance, we'll be in for it next week, believe me.
I guess, guys, hope you're all doing well. Hope we all get positive results. I'm going to leave it there anyway, guys. Thanks for joining us. Locks, Corey, thanks for joining us. And we'll soon, Locks, you'll be wearing that Leeds shirt instead. Yeah. Soon, in a couple of weeks.
West Ham, you should have to wear one on the next before the whistle blows.
Wearing the West Ham one next week just to prove it.
Don't blame me, mate. I don't blame you.
We'll leave it there then, guys. Check out as well tomorrow. Matchday content, plenty of matchday content. We'll be live from about 7 o'clock, reacting to the lineups. Then, of course, the watch along itself. About half an hour before the game, we'll be going live for the game itself. Then we'll be, obviously, before that, 15 minutes going through the lineups. We've got you covered, guys. We've got you covered. All the stuff tomorrow. Forget Sky. Watch the game on Sky, but listen to us. Listen to the main commentators here, Wayman and Marriott. Check them out. Check out our totally unbiased commentary as well after the game. Post-match reviews, player ratings. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to do it, but we will get a player ratings out to you as well.
If we win and win well, know that I'll be doing it in the same night. If we lose, I'll probably do it Sunday evening when I've sorted myself out a little bit.
What if we draw?
I'll probably go to bed.
What if we draw it as a VAR decision? No, let's just move on.
It'll be all right.
And then, of course, as well, opposition post-match. And yeah, guys, Monday Night Football, everything, every day, something is going to be on Leeds TV. We can promise you that. Make sure you subscribe and check out as well Locks on Leicester Fan TV, Corey on the West Ham Way. Check him out, guys. And we'll leave it there anyway. See you later.
Cheers.